Okay. Since no one's here yet, I'll do whatever and wait for everyone.
Please.
Also, wait, let me adjust my mic position.
No matter the time.
Because it's a little far away from me. Okay, should be good now. Also, no one look. My wilderness is a mess. Also, please don't notice the obscene amounts of cellular activity I have. I think I'm gonna perhaps.
Bertin abrió la puerta de golpe. Llevaba una expresión.
Look at my back. Please, that isn't. Uh-oh. Shit. Uh-oh. Right win. Please, that isn't. Stop. Don't blink. Right win. Please, take good care of yourself. An amazing discovery. Swallow my exhaust. Uh-oh. Please cease resistance.
Now, to divide the spoils.
Ouch, I got hiccups. What the Sigma?
Bertin abrió la puerta de golpe.
Dental checkup. Thank you for your cooperation. Breathe. I know the mood, and this is a very city. Sorry. So long live this. Premio será un techo al infinito. So long live this, and this gives power to do. Each moment, now night. I smell the scent of winter. Thank you for your cooperation. Sempre caro in quest'ermo college. I know the mood, and this is a dream city. Premio será un techo al infinito.
I will pray for you.
Okay, now I think we have enough to get Recoleta to Insight 3.
Bertin abrió la puerta de golpe. When all the timelines and storylines converge, we'll have to leave everything behind and move forward once again. I'm just glad that this time you'll be here with me, mi amiga.
She's so cute, guys. Aw. Love her. Okay. Okay, awesome. I don't think. Okay, yeah, I should stop this sentence here. I don't think. So, fuck you, Weeball. Whatever. I'll get this sorted out later. Also, let me just do this so I can claim my stuff when we're done with chapter 8. Is it 8 or is it 9? I think it's 8. That's how excited I am to 2.8, guys. I wanna see Modir again. I like her.
Then I found you.
Also, oh my god, there's a car on the street that can't stop blaring the alarms. This shit is so buns. I don't know if you guys can hear it though. I hope not. Actually, can I claim this already? I can. I'm just doing whatever right now if there's anyone watching the VODs. I'm just doing whatever for now because I'm waiting for more people to get here. And also, recently I got P3 Jessica, and I gotta
So glad we meet again.
do her
When you were
Euphoria
gone,
thing.
I collected
I've been
every
farming,
favorite ones and put them in that drawer.
how you call it? Reveries. Recently. And yeah. Because I use her quite a bit. Yeah. Also, I decided I will sell my soul.
Please.
And I will try to get P5 Isol next time she's on Banner. I was talking to a friend who has a P5 Lucy. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I should try that as well. I really like her. She's so... love her. Love her. So I got her and her girlfriend. Their matching garments. Oh yeah. Also, oh my, are we ready? This week we'll also be doing this. So everyone tune in on like 2 days from now. Yeah, we'll be doing this. I hope it's good because I don't want to be wasting my time. But anyways, scared. Let's go. Also I said we were going to actually, are there thingies? I farmed the hard stages, but I think there are these little things I haven't done. So let's watch them for now while no one's here yet. Where is this place? The furthest edge of civilization. Discuss. Historically, the town of Ushuaia originally was home to just 400 people until 1100 convicts were exiled here. It's not hard to see why, after all. Oh my fucking god, I can't... Wait, let me close my windows because this fucking alarm is pissing me off! Wait a second. Okay, my windows are now closed. I hope no one can hear it now. But it was, oh my god, pissing me off. Let me take a sip of water. Okay. We could even end up like family. Indeed, I think I understand how the residents and prisoners integrated. Surviving in the harsh climate of polar regions like this isn't easy. Prisoners couldn't make it alone. The harsh nature of their surroundings taught them a simple truth. No person survives on their own. Such poetic wording. Soneto, you really ought to try your hand at poetry. It is an act of outpouring one's feelings and taking a journey through one's own mind. A journey through your mind? Thanks for the suggestion. Perhaps I'll consider giving it a try in the future. That is so cute. They're so... Aww. Oopie goopies. What? And since the prisoners never knew if they were being watched or not, the surveillance system infiltrated every detail of their lives. It is false words. He also said it was a significant experiment for the government at the time. But in that era, Foucault's psychoanalysis seemed more like a means to an end. Huh? Wait, so if I'd been born a few decades earlier, would I have needed to try so hard to get into this prison? Wouldn't the gendarmes just have locked me up just for writing or speaking out? I may not always understand you, but I sincerely hope you are joking now. Back then, people faced more than just imprisonment. There were disappearances, torture, and many deaths. Alright, I apologize. That was probably a bit inappropriate for a joke, I admit. Please relax, Soneto. Okay. Let's see, are there any more? What's this? Typewriter record B12. They covered their eyes, they descended to madness. When they speak of manus vindictae, their tone is always light, often laced with jokes. Colorful descriptions like a greasy-headed musician smearing tiles like a drunk Edward Goya frequently crop up in their poetry. Even though I have never seen such a scene myself, I can still grasp their attitude towards manus vindictae. It was an oppression surpassing even their past sufferings, yet subconsciously they ignored his similarity, perhaps out of denial, or perhaps because this prison had already taught them to obey, also subconsciously. But as far as I know, manus vindictae did bring their terror here. Those masks drove Arcanus to insanity and caused unbearable suffering, as if they were caught in an inescapable snare. After prolonged torment, they lost the ability to utter even a single phrase of their own language, reduced to slaves of this underground faction, left with only a singular thought, their souls having left the empty husk of their former selves. And as for humans, it seems they were driven to death en masse. At night, they were not allowed prolonged sleep, woken by their companions every hour to sit beneath the watchtower and chant prayers. And by dawn, high-intensity training and interrogations that did not require or expect any answers would begin again. The purpose of manus vindictae is buried beneath these cruel methods, as clear as the deepest crevasse in the ice field. It is nothing but destruction. They seek to completely destroy humanity. Okay, that's... Oh, scary. See? I wonder if the tower inside the prison has seen this on Xeno defectors. Let's see. Based on the above information and recent intelligence from the Timekeeper squad, it is confirmed that Xeno's defector unit had entered Kamala prison, which held numerous arcanists, and withdrew from Ushuaia on March 2nd. The operation clearly involved cooperation with Manus Vindicte. The current whereabouts of the defectors remain unclear, pending further intelligence from the Timekeeper squad. The information is fragmented and primarily inferential. For the full reasoning behind the operation and additional details, please refer to attachments 4 through 28. What's this? Prison reform notes. Let me take a sip of water again. Also, oh my god, my nose is runny. I think I'm getting sick. Look, the smallest of clues, the greatest of structures, built brick by brick. During the third Kamala Congress, Redacted's daily dose of diazepam was reduced from 2 3/4 tablets to none, replaced with 2 classified poetry collections and 6 chlorpromazine tablets, to be taken 1.5 per day. 2 days, 11 hours, 8 minutes, and 4 seconds later, an 8mm crack appeared on the bar of his cell, which is on the 2nd floor, near the 3rd staircase, and is the 8th cell from the left. He scraped off a 4x3mm fragment from the 32nd tile. Mentions of the other me increased from 3 times in 48 hours to 25 times in 48 hours. 4 days, 3 hours, 7 minutes, and 8 seconds later, he Queen? Or King, I don't know. From merely collecting manuscript paper to collecting manuscript paper and mirror fragments. Within the next 24 hours, he collected 11 mirrors, which total, oh my god, 103 shards. During the 6th Kamala Congress, Redacted's supply of fluoxetine and valproate was completely discontinued, replaced with 4 classified L6759 literary selections and 4 rolls of 400cm bandages. Average 32 bangs against bars and walls per hour. The bandages were all used up within 4 days, 14 hours, 20 minutes, and 9 seconds, with 89.3 centimeters lost in the water due to excessive ripping. Wrote 15 pages of poetry over 10 days, 6 hours, 8 minutes, and 3 seconds. Tore up 14 of those pages and swallowed the remaining one. What? The Sigma. Okay. And now the last one before we continue for realsies. Treatments, entry 3 of 3. The transformation of quantity into quality is the greatest realization of the method of exhaustion. December 1, numbers, whatever. Each person is uniformly allocated 1 dose of chlorpromazine and 1 dose of thalidomide. December 3, numbers, whatever. Each person is uniformly allocated 3 doses of chlorpromazine and 3 doses of... Oh my god, I wish my pharmacy oomph was here, because I'm not sure what any of this means. Oh my god, also Verono, not sure what this is, but sounds bad.
Few soldiers would appreciate the idea of taking orders from an accursed die. A skilled commander would never rely on luck to make decisions. On the battlefield, the distance for every maneuver should be clear and precise, not 2 numbers with a D in the middle, unless you're looking to invite a mutiny. That said, if a die with such power were placed in a soldier's hand, I'm pretty sure they'd roll it and let it decide their destiny. Exactly. There's no good luck without bad luck. Just as a coin must have 2 sides. Luck essentially defines one's entire life. And whether it's make or break, life or death, the die will keep on rolling. Of course, dice aren't the only tools used to play with fate. Coins, lotteries, even shells on the beach can all serve the same purpose. Thanks to the randomness of fate, a Babylonian may rise to be a proconsul one day, fall into slavery the next. Well, that's where historians come in. With a little creative editing of the history books, even the random rolls of a die can suddenly make sense. What were once avoidable tragedies are rebranded as reasonable incidents, or even desirable outcomes. You're starting to sound like a gambler.
Let's go gambling!
But even gamblers, after hitting a hot streak or a losing spell, start to convince themselves that they've figured out the grand pattern behind games of chance. It isn't just gamblers either. Witches tried to influence fate through rituals and charms. Ancient mathematicians calculated probabilities on paper. Some even wrote books on game theory.
I think, oh my god, I've heard of these, but actually I think it's all guys that makes no sense.
Meanwhile, others suspected there were cheaters among them. I just hope these high rollers unite to confront the demon who holds the laws of the universe, past, present, and future, in its claws, and give it a well done and a slap in the face. Haven't I always? It's just that today, the die rolled a peculiar number. But all things considered, I prefer the other kind of commander. The die is cast, but regardless of what number has been rolled, it's time to cross the river.
Huh. Got it. Kind of. Soothsayer World Maker. The goddess delights in toying with the piety of her believers. On the stage, Octavia remains the picture of serenity as she orchestrates the Congress.
Miss Recoleta, as a witness to the Congress, you have the right to express your doubts calmly.
Listen, you...
She recalls the complaints of her two former companions, the jailer's dismissals, and the confused expressions of every editor she has ever faced. If she were to lay out every detail of her novel here and now, she would only get the same response.
No, it's nothing. It's just that I'd like to participate in the dice rolling ceremony. May I?
Of course. The very fact that you're standing here in the Panopticon proves that you share a common fate with it.
Recoleta surveys the prisoners waiting to cast their die. Their expressions are serene, untroubled, calmly awaiting their fate. The joys and misfortunes of those before them do not affect the long, winding queue in the slightest. She takes a deep breath.
It doesn't matter when I roll the die, since the rolls are simply a reflection of the randomness of fate, right?
Precisely.
Then I'd like to perform my role after the 27th inmate. Is that all right?
As you wish, Miss Recoleta.
Program activated.
What? Nothing happens.
Deciding todos los momentos. Huh. Very well.
A truly villainous moment. Do I have to do this?
Nothing happens.
Agreed.
Idealismo. Juegos de fantasía. patrones ocultos.
Oh, got it.
Loading.
Actually, no, I don't get it.
All be over.
But for the sake of the game, let's say I do.
Our blood will burn.
Target confirmed. Charging.
Agreed.
Nuestra aliados la verdad.
The light that illuminates all.
Have I startled you?
Loading.
En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más.
A truly villainous moment. Battles have little meaning, save for the prizes to be won.
Got it.
It seems fate favors you, Mr. Coletta. Here are your supplies. Please be sure to follow the distribution rules of the Congress. This is an essential structure of Comala, and a belief shared by all its inmates. Honor it.
Just as I suspected.
Huh? What did you
These
suspect?
supplies belong to me now, Octavia. I'm free to use them however I please.
Recoleta strides toward Eduardo, who is curled up in a distant corner, clutching his head as his body trembles in silence.
Here, Eduardo. Take them.
But I haven't fulfilled my destiny yet. These precious tablets and capsules, I can't accept them. They are gifts from fate. The die has placed them in your palm.
But I don't need them. You do.
Thank you, kind senorita.
The prisoner's trembling stops. He blankly pinches his arm, as if trying to distinguish reality from dream. Then, all at once, he snatches the medication from her hands and shoves it into his mouth.
Eduardo, what's wrong? Are you taking the medicine right now? There's no need to rush. There's plenty of it. You can have it all.
Por Dios, Eduardo! How could you squander fate's gifts like this? Kind señorita, please, give me the medication. I need it more than anyone else.
No, I'm the one who needs the most. Give me the medication. I beg of you. With the protection of these amulets, I might finally be able to get a peaceful night's sleep. No more trembling floors and wailing ghosts.
The prisoners shove and struggle, countless hands reaching toward the hapless rider, trying to snatch the small round pills of salvation.
Enough! Enough!
A blue glow spreads through the room, forcing the prisoners to clutch their heads and fall down to their knees. The riot comes to an abrupt halt.
You shouldn't have done that, Miss Recoleta. Your ignorant generosity could shatter the very basis of our survival.
She steps toward Eduardo, now writhing in pain, and picks up a few stray capsules scattered at his feet. The pills dissolve into a stream of weighted sand, vanishing as it pours through her fingers.
We have never had such chaos at the Congress. Understand this. We rely only on the randomness of fate to distribute supplies and assign responsibilities. If you disrupt the status quo, the entire system of the Panopticon will collapse beyond repair. It is only by respecting the arbitrariness of fate and adhering to the rules of the Die of Babylon that we have kept this place functioning all this time.
The Die of Babylon? Tell me, how did you know this name? Are you the one orchestrating this whole thing?
Recoleta, equally confused and furious, grabs the hostess's collar.
Podría ser. It is Aleph. Tal como sospechaba Verdon?
Let go of me, Miss Recoleta. Have you gone mad? The roll of the die is absolutely random. I'm not orchestrating anything. Before the Congress began, I made an oath. I intend to keep it.
Please, calm down, Miss Recoleta. I think she's telling the truth.
She lets go of her grip as the reality of their situation dawns on her.
Sorry, Octavia, but please, you have to tell me how you learned about the Die of Babylon. I must know. Only my pen pal and I should have any knowledge about this die.
I heard about it from the physician. He described it as a symbol of collective consciousness that we could harness to maintain immaculate order in the Panopticon. The Comala Congress was coined, iterated, and perfected by the physician based on this concept.
The physician again. Everything eventually leads back to him. Just as we suspected.
I see.
Recoleta casts her eyes over to the silent Jaguar, who has remained wordless from beginning to end, watching it all unfold.
Jailer, we have to meet with the physician in person. Now.
As I've told you many times, Dr. Merlin is too busy at the moment. I couldn't possibly trouble him over a novel and a pen pal. They are just fantasies.
Couldn't you make an exception? What if they're not just fantasies? What if they're tied to the very survival of this place? Miss Recoleta said the Panopticon could collapse because of the Die of Babylon.
Are you seriously telling me you believe that nonsense?
It wasn't nonsense, nor are they fantasies. You saw with your own eyes how I won the die roll.
It was just a coincidence.
The jailer's words are at odds with the subtle motions of her eyes and face. The Foundation's investigators seize on a prime opportunity to apply pressure.
What if we present you with stronger evidence to prove it's more than just a coincidence? If everything in the Panopticon proceeds according to Miss Recoleta's novel as she says, she should be able to predict what happens next, including the roll results of the absolutely random die.
That's right. The Die of Babylon isn't random at all. It's nothing but a supercilious fraud veiled under the guise of fate, and an actor of the inescapable loop of history. And...
Oh my.
Not one of you is paying attention to me whatsoever. Ugh, to hell with this era of ignoring unknown writers.
Miss Recoleta, please make your prediction for the next inmate's die roll. This way, you can prove to Miss Jailer the irrefutable connection between Kamala and your novel, The Rise and Fall of Sanity.
I finally remembered its name! Oh, what sweet balm to my spirit!
Miss Octavia, please continue the Congress and let the next inmate perform their role. Then Miss Recoleta's statement will be proven true.
The hostess of the Congress remains non-committal.
I appreciate the reminder. No matter the interruption, the Comala Congress must go on. Though not for Miss Recoleta's sake, of course. Next inmate, please.
Following the die's designated order, the next prisoner steps forward to roll.
Hello, inmate Garcia. You know what to do.
Of course.
La sexta cara. Un pilar roto. El flujo de la fortuna y la calamidad. So the result of the next roll will be a 6.
Her prophetic precision plunges the hall of new encounters into breathless silence.
As fate reveals, the number is 6.
Just as Miss Recoleta predicted.
That could still be a coincidence. Do it again.
La 13ª cara. Una cadencia desconcertante, sin un verdadero principio ni fin. La 4ª cara. Un hombre que se ahogaba usó el último de sus fuerzas para nadar a la seguridad, solo para descubrir que había confundido un espejo con la superficie del lago. La 17ª cara. Cojeaba hacia el distante oasis, solo para que la débil humedad y la inquietante quietud
revelaran cruelmente que era un espejismo. La sexta cara, otro pilar roto con grietas idénticas a la última, confirmó la hipótesis de la investigadora de paracausalidad. Este lugar solía ser un edificio circular. Is that enough? I've almost finished the entire chapter.
It's not possible.
One coincidence after another begins to stir into an uproar. The coincidences appear endless.
Who are you?
I'm sorry if this comes as a shock to you, but I did warn you, Octavia. Now it's proven. The Die of Babylon is anything but the so-called randomness of fate.
Have you been sent here by some god? Or are you a hobby prophet? Have you brought this knowledge to save us? Or to shatter our beliefs? Our world?
A question destined never to need an answer. She lets her eyes fall into the cardboard box and onto the 20-sided die. The ridiculousness of its nature becomes starkly visible.
What is this thing in my hand? What are we? What is this prison?
I don't know if it's some kind of sorcery or arcane skill, but it's unfathomable. I'll take you to the physician. Not because of your earlier request, but because the situation has escalated beyond my means. The overseer of the Panopticon will decide how to handle your situation.
To be honest, Miss Recolata, I wasn't sure you'd be able to correctly predict everything.
Timekeeper, are you saying that you risked everything on a hunch?
It worked, didn't it?
Come with me. Dr. Merlin's office is in the central tower.
For her part, the now vindicated writer follows at the end of the line, letting her mind race like a bullet train.
En la sexta versión de mi novela, todos en el pueblo mueren a causa del dado de Babilonia. Porque solo la muerte puede cerrar el ciclo de la historia. Y carcelero, eres el empleado del banco, ¿verdad? Entonces, al final, también sufrirás un colapso como el empleado del banco, cuando se da cuenta de que él y el pescador de dunas son la misma persona. If all of this is tied to the rise and fall of sanity, then, as its creator, I will get to the bottom of this.
Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my. Scared, guys, I'm scared. Yay, more Earth! The Weaving of Shadows, Volume 5, The Boundary Shatters, and an astrologer glimpses an unspeakable truth. Let's see. After that, I attended several more literary salons and wrote things I had never dared write before. Miss Octavia, however, never made an appearance. I didn't see her for quite some time. That was until I followed some prisoners to a large hall and heard her voice among a group of unfamiliar inmates. She noticed me and greeted me warmly. She told me she had been working on some new initiatives. She told me of her hopes to gather more support, to improve conditions in the prison, and initiate a spiritual shift toward realism and resistance. I truly believed back then that everything was heading in the right direction. Before all eyes, the host of the assembly, the idealist, steps up to the podium. By the randomness of fate, we have gathered here to participate in the Kamala Congress. Before the eyes of destiny, historians and astrologers alike, I now declare a new rule amendment. A duel before a crowd of eager eyes. The winner awarded 10 pounds of gold, and the loser left with 10 flies to descend upon him. Before the Kamala Congress convenes, we shall assign 2 members of La Sociedad this noble mission, a duo decreed by fate. Torres hears the faint clink of a small object rattling inside a box. Jose, Julio, step forward and draw the sharpest blade of your literary thought. According to the rules, I will preside over this duel with fairness and impartiality. Now, prepare yourselves. The absurd, fictional, metaphysical duel ends within a fraction of a second. The victorious prisoner receives his 10 shining golden pills, while the loser collapses to the floor. The crowd erupts into chaos, Octavia's cries rising above the noise.
What's going on?
Mr. Julio, he's having another seizure.
Miss Erd, please, Julio needs your help.
Octavia, you know this is all part of the randomness of fate. The randomness of fate? She doesn't argue back as she usually would. Instead, she stands frozen in place as if stunned. What's the matter, Miss Octavia? This is an emergency. I require your assistance. Answer me, Octavia. Why are you trying to change Julio's fate? Because no one should die like this.
I don't want him to die.
Please, Miss Octavia, help me so I can help him.
Her voice cracks, leaving only the sound of her stifled sobs lingering in the air. What's wrong, Miss Octavia? How's his condition now? Miss Octavia? She remains silent. After a long pause, she casts the heavy stone into the bottomless water. Miss Erd.
Mr. Julio is gone. He left us the moment the duel was over.
How could that be? Seizures can potentially lead to irreversible brain damage, but how could it happen so fast? A precious life, gone so quickly, swept away by something so senseless, lost in a nonsensical duel. What exactly is this so-called Congress? Some kind of punitive system you need to come out of prison? But how can someone's life be decided by something so absurd? Are we simply meant to surrender to a fate so twisted, no matter how absurd it is? Is it so irrefutable? This isn't the fate I seek, it's a distortion of it. It's my fault for not finding a better way. I used to think Mr. Julio didn't care about anything but his own novels. I never imagined my ideals would mean anything to him. But he was the first person in La Sociedad to support me. But that really was an irreversible fate, a fate granted to Mr. Julio by the die of Babylon. The die of Babylon? Her question is left unanswered. The host of the salon goes on. Julio has stepped off the endless staircase and reached the silent water. He has become as calm water, dissolved into his own pond. Let us offer our blessings, our silence, our farewell to this martyr of fate. And let us imagine that Julio's literary career was a happy one. The hall remains deathly silent. No applause, no response.
A life is taken, and that's all you have to say?
You really don't care whether we live or die, do you, idealist? And all of you, don't any of you have anything to say? Why are you all just standing there? If we hadn't kept rejecting the physician's treatment, maybe Mr. Julio wouldn't have... Rejecting? How ridiculous. You have no clue what that demon in human skin is capable of. How he reached into your mind and molded it like clay, reshaping it until it becomes your prison. In the realm of fiction, fate, unreality, the dissolution of the ego is inevitable and irreversible. Therefore, we must not resist the ending dealt to us by the die of Babylon. Do you even know what you're talking about? I've never truly understood you, idealist. I will find a better way. I must rewrite this tragic tale. If you disagree, then leave La Sociedad. You will not have our great poem disrupted by an offbeat syllable. Besides, your tedious talk of social responsibility should have been purged long ago. Modern Latin America belongs to visceral realism, and you're too ignorant to even attempt to seek it out. Oh my god, I was going to say something, but maybe this counts as entering like spoiler realm. But oh my god, I don't care. Girl, what y'all know about Latin America? You're like, you're European. Hell you know about Latin America.
What a ridiculous, laughable man you are.
Get his ass, Octavia! Yes, I see it clearly now. It's your tyranny that has driven everyone to ruin. Well, let me tell you something. I'm not leaving. I will establish a new literary movement right here in Comala, right here in La Sociedad de Poetas de las Américas. And we will use our literature to rescue the inmates who suffer all around us.
I've had enough of your condescending stone-hearted ego and your pompous sophistry.
Get his ass!
He'll only bring misfortune upon us with his constant rambling about that visceral realism.
I hope I never see you again. Miss Erd, we have to get you out of here. Another second around, this maniac might just doom us all. Get his ass, girl. Get his ass.
Only the physician, the true overseer of this prison, can save us from this situation. Please join our society, Miss Torres.
Help us build a renewed Sociedad de Poetas together. I've already spoken with the jailer. As long as we follow the rules and help them manage Comala, we'll be free to discuss literature.
Forgive me, Miss Octavia. While I truly appreciate your kind offer, I'm afraid my conversation with the physician must remain private.
Why?
Please answer me this question first. From what you've seen, you'd say this prison is circular in shape, yes?
Yes.
Yes, it is. Then tell me, at the center of the structure, is there a watchtower? What? Impossible. You guessed it exactly. And our destination is somewhere inside that watchtower. How did you know?
I've had such a lovely time here. So much so that I almost forgot what I came for.
Which is precisely why I must put an end to this cruel farce masquerading as fate. Do you intend to rebel against the Watchtower's gaze, just like the idealist? You misunderstand me, Miss Octavia.
That inescapable gaze, and the permanent theme of fate.
To get closer to the truth I seek, I have no choice but to meet the administrator that young lady spoke of.
You've decided to save the people here with your own hands, in your own way, and so have I. There are things I must face alone.
Though she is well used to death, the pain of Julio's passing still lingers in her heart, causing her to say these words that don't quite feel like herself.
I see. Lend me your palm. I'll draw you the way to his office. Good luck to you. And to all of us.
Farewell, Miss Octavia. I truly hope all goes well for you in the days ahead.
As Octavia retreats, slowly fading into the distance, she quietly adds,
And in your journey, finding answers about fate, too.
Okay. Yeah, that was... Yeah. Behind the operating curtain, what disrupted this era? What unraveled time? The shadow lurking in the ruins answers. Madness. Scary. An otherwise tidy room is covered in fine scratches and small and unidentifiable stains. The smell of disinfectant lingers in the air, mixed with mildew.
Wait here a moment. I'll report the situation and your request to Dr. Merlin. However, since he's always busy, I can't guarantee he'll agree to meet you, but I'll do my best to persuade him.
The Jaguar's figure slinks out through the inner door.
Now's our chance, Sonetto.
Our chance? What do you mean?
Oh my!
It's unlikely that the jailer will let us search the central tower, even in this situation. We should take the initiative and look for clues while she's away.
Hell yeah!
I see, Timekeeper. I will do my best.
Snetto swiftly conducts a thoroughly unauthorized search.
Thank you for your assistance, Miss Recoleta. Without your precise predictions, we wouldn't be standing here now. I haven't yet grasped the connection between the die, your novel, and what's happening in this place. But, by process of elimination, it's almost certain that your pen pal, Aleph, is right behind this door.
Sometimes I envy your decisiveness, Burton. I'm sure many people have praised this special talent of yours.
Are you alright? You don't seem as excited as when we first entered Kamala.
Recoleta holds her gaze on the tightly shut door, uncertain whether she hopes it will open now or ever again.
The all-seeing sentinel of the Panopticon, veiled within the central tower. If it truly is Aleph, I don't know how to face such terrifying and increasingly plausible reality.
Sorry to interrupt, but Timekeeper, I think you'll want to see these.
Sign Erd. This is a letter from Dr. Doris.
The delicate signature matches the one in the manuscript folder.
Her handwriting, it's as beautiful as I'd imagined. Who is it addressed to? Dear Mr. Aleph. Aleph?
Oh my.
Looks like Doris and Aleph are acquaintances. Or at least, they've had some correspondence. Dear Mr. Aleph, my apologies if this reaches you at an inconvenient time. I am Doris, pen name Erd, an ordinary inmate of the Panopticon of Kamala. I write seeking your guidance, if you wouldn't mind offering it to me.
I heard from the physician, Dr. Merlin,
that
you have the answer to every question. A statement which has been echoed by the idealists and the other inmates. I have something I wish to ask you. What exactly is your role at the prison? Chief Warden? A secret backer? An observer who dominates the prison? Are you truly the supreme ruler of the Panopticon of Kamala?
They tear open the next letter, eager to read on.
Dear Erd, I do indeed have answers for every question, including yours. I'm afraid every one of your speculations is off the mark. I am merely an inmate who chose to imprison himself here. And allow me to point out that your identity isn't as ordinary as you claim. Why is it that you, my fellow inmate and guest of Manus Vindictae, are so interested in Kamala?
Dr. Doris, a guest of Manus Vindictae.
Yeah, I know, right? Crazy! A muffled shattering of glass interrupts the reading. Oh my god. I got chills from that. I got scared, okay?
It came from inside the room. Do you think they're okay?
The jailer and the physician. What happened?
The door defies any attempt at an answer, sealing all the events from view.
I'm not sure, but it could be bad. Come on, let's go in and see if they're all right.
Oh man, I'm scared! The unlocked door leads to another room, more decrepit and oppressive than the last. A cold operating table lies in the center, surrounded by scattered bottles and medical instruments.
It seems we've stumbled upon the physician's
office. I should have known, but is this an operating room? As if this prison wasn't bizarre enough already.
Inside the narrow operating room, the Jaguar reacts badly to their intrusion.
Didn't I tell you to wait outside? What do you think you're doing barging in like this?
We were just worried about your safety, jailer.
Enough. Get out of...
Quiet.
Guys, my hands are sweating.
The reptilian complex governs all our fundamental functions. Our heartbeat, breathing, fight or flight responses, and our territory and hierarchy awareness. Our primitive ancestors, like reptiles and birds, followed such instincts to survive. Through millions of years of evolution, we developed the limbic system. This processes emotions and forms memories. It allows us to feel fear, sadness, anger, joy. Our behaviors are given meaning. Now it's the neocortex that makes up more than 2/3 of our total brain volume. Language, perception, logical reasoning, abstract thought. This is what forms the complexity of human nature. We read, create, perceive. We try to understand both the world and ourselves. We are forever setting goals, one after another.
Who give a fuck?
And all this, these multitudes, happens within the confines of the skull, in the tight folds of the crowded cerebral cortex.
Is he performing surgery?
Such a delicate and elaborate organ. Were it unable to forget, what would come of it? Can this space, no larger than the palm of my hand, truly accommodate dozens of people at once?
At last, the physician sets down his operating scissors and needle, signaling the end of the surgery. Yet, at the same time, the old machine issues an alarm, signaling that his patient's vital signs were wavering.
What's happened to the patient? It looks like he's dying.
Her anxiety rises as the question goes... Huh? Oh, as the question goes unanswered. On the screen, the last waveform disappears, leaving only a constant flat tone.
¿Fracasó la cirugía?
Nonsense. The surgery was a tremendous success.
Who give a fuck?
I have erased his debilitating hysteria and restored order to the panopticon. What are you trying to achieve by barging in here?
The man behind the operating table stares at the uninvited guests expectantly, but does not give them a chance to respond.
Forget it. The next operation requires my attention. Jailer, show them out. Bring me the next patient in 15 minutes.
I'm sorry, Miss Burton. I'm afraid you have to leave now.
Recoleta steps forward, blocking their path. There is a hint of pleading in her voice.
Please, just let us speak with you. It'll only take a moment. I have something very important I need to ask.
Her question is not given time to take shape.
Important. Nothing is of greater importance than my experiments in the panopticon, outsiders. To ensure they continue, the stability of time and schedule is absolutely paramount.
Experiments in the panopticon? So you really are the controller of the prison, then?
Controller? What an outdated notion. Superficial, really. The panopticon has no need for such power, regardless of who occupies the central tower, or even if no one's there at all. Every inmate is both the observer and the observed, both wielders and subjects of power. Achieving such a state requires no physical or violent measures. The structure of the panopticon itself is the mechanism which sustains it. Komala is simply a manifestation of this model. Once I confirm its feasibility and adaptability, this model can be applied to any functional setting with only minor modifications. So far, it has proven to be far superior to any current system of governance in our world. Transcendental. Cursed. Why am I wasting time explaining this to you? Time is running out.
Who gives a F? Oh my god. The investigator keenly senses the key within his words.
Dr. Merlin, you keep mentioning time. What exactly do you mean by that?
Really? You need to ask? Even those oily-headed lunatics know it. The end of this era is imminent, is it not?
Indeed, the word that was so close to being spoken.
You know about the storm?
That's what you call it, is it? A storm that washes everything away. You employees of the St. Pavlov Foundation should know better than I. Soon, this era and everything in it will cease to exist. I must prove the feasibility of the Panopticon model before this place is turned to ruins, or something even more unrecognizable.
A storm that washes everything away? Burton, what on earth are you two talking about?
The conversation extends beyond even the most imaginative creations of the aspiring writer.
No one can predict the era to which we will be reversed. I have seen the eras change time and time again. The transformation of this place, over and over. But no matter which era each of these 9 storms, as you call them, has taken us back to, Cordeismo continues to plague this land. Dependency theorists, martyred revolutionists. I've seen them all. You, young writer, are no different from those intellectuals who were swept away in the rain. There is no romance in this era. Only the repeated cycles of madness and brutality. An endless, meaningless struggle. Only in this forgotten corner can we momentarily escape the plundering of the marauders and the chaos they unleash. Although it won't be long before this place is looted by those oily-headed lunatics. Just as it has countless times before, on this land as rich as silver.
He mutters to himself.
But there is still hope. Even in a wasteland, we may still be saved. As long as I uncover the path to transcendentality, I will find the ultimate answer. Ugh. I've already wasted far too much time on you. Leave, now.
The physician turns away, beginning preparations for the next surgery, organizing his worn-out instruments.
You heard him. Please don't press things any further.
All right, Senor, I get it. Obviously, you don't want to discuss my novel with me anymore, so I won't insist upon it. All the letters we wrote to one another, all those inspiring revisions and suggestions, I guess they meant nothing to you.
Her voice wavers. Rejections, closed doors, harsh critiques. This proves more devastating than all of them together.
But there's still something I must tell you. Jailer, could you please allow us a private conversation with the No. With Aleph.
Hearing this, the physician stops.
Leave us, jailer. I'll spare these outsiders 5 minutes.
The jaguar turns to leave, her face revealing an uncharacteristic sorrow as she lingers on the girls one last time. This time, she offers no words. Oh my. Master of the Labyrinth. Within the corpse of the labyrinth's builder, he proclaims it. It is and has always been perfect. Oh my god, who gives a gaff? Only the steady beeping of a heart monitor keeps the eerie silence at bay.
Dr. Merlin, or should I say Aleph, I don't know why you're using my novel to manipulate the Panopticon, but you need to know that it won't serve your purpose, whether in fiction or reality. You claim that the inmates are both the observer and the observed, and both weak and subjects of power. How could you be so blind as to not see the true state of the Panopticon? The inmates haven't achieved any perfect order. No, they've devolved into pitiful caricatures of themselves.
performers in some endless pantomime to be watched from the central tower. Even their medication has become a prop to demonstrate the so-called randomness of fate in the theater that is the Panopticon. This farce hasn't made the Panopticon a better place. No, it has warped it into a twisted theater of cruelty, where the sick are denied treatment and left to quietly perish in the dark corners of its halls. And literature has died alongside them. This prison is a monster, born under the gaze of this all-seeing power.
Get his ass!
Aleph, is this truly the ultimate answer you've been searching for?
The physician suddenly seems startled, stepping back and accidentally knocking over his stools.
What? Are you suggesting that this is the answer I've reached? That my experiment has been a failure all along, and I've been too blind to see it? No, impossible. Foucault's theory is flawless.
Okay. Having his life's work denied is something he cannot tolerate. The man searches the tabletop with feigned composure, but in doing so, he unintentionally sweeps all the surgical tools onto the floor.
I have removed every obstacle to the running of this prison. It is pure, sacrosanct. I have constantly re-evaluated the system, adjusting my instructions to my subordinates to ensure the most efficient maintenance of the established order. And now, you stand here and tell me that everything I've done has been meaningless from the very beginning?
Yeah.
That the power model I have implemented has already been replaced by an alternative? No, outsiders. The perfect order of the Panopticon shall not be disrupted. I will not be swayed by your lies. This facility is superior to all others. Nothing here escapes my notice.
At last, in a barely noticeable corner, he finds the 20-sided die wreathed in black mist.
That said, it isn't easy to work a miracle, as we all know. I shall personally verify it, all myself.
What the Sigma? All of his emotions dissolve as he grips the die. The narrow operating room shakes, as if responding to him, emitting a distorted screech.
What's happening?
Visitors from another era. You have come here with plagued ideologies in an attempt to break the subtle balance of the Panopticon. But did you not notice the tiles beneath your feet? The cracks and water stains on the walls, constantly changing right before your eyes. This room, the previous room, every room, you have blindly wandered through them, seeing them as nothing more than the building blocks of a monotonous labyrinth. But this place was not born from the chaotic imaginings of a madman. No. Every inch has been crafted through the meticulous harnessing of order and power. Every wisp of spider silk drifting in the wind. Every speck of rust on the gallery rail. Every detail of the Panopticon has been built by my own hands. With this ever-shifting die, concepts may be transformed into reality, and ideals into substance. I observe the movement of every entity, the passage of every second. The moment you entered this realm, you too became subjects of my experiment.
But the Sigma. Okay, now we're gonna beat his ass.
Filter complete. Move carefully.
Admit it. This is all getting out of hand.
Impossible! All is under the die's control. What may appear to be chaos is nothing more than a temporary deviation.
Please stay the line, Xiangliang. Please let me up. Be careful. Please, don't resist.
You won't get away. Saxophone's ends. A bandura? 强梁既出， As you wish. 王有不为。
Oh nah, bro is washed.
Special, precise, perfect.
It is far from perfect. You know that as well as I. Why else would we be conducting this experiment?
We worked on this collaboration together. I'll write you into my paper.
Oh, song.
This happened when the idealist was attacked too.
To think we've been trapped in a prison fabricated by a die all this time. Did the physician really build all this with such a small, simple object?
The distortion is getting worse. Prepare yourselves to fight or flee.
The situation begins to spiral out of control. Now everything in the room screeches and twists until they become a mess of meaningless black and white lines.
Please, Dr. Merlin, stop this.
No. You're asking for the impossible. Power model of the Panopticon is destined to permeate all of society. Such insignificant interferences could never plunge it into chaos.
Whatever.
But it already has, Merlin. You failed. I have not failed. And as long as I keep the prison running.
The physician fiddles with the die, muttering baffling and incoherent words to himself.
It isn't your power model running the prison. It's the die. It's simply a form of magic, unrelated to the microphysics of power you seek. It provides no aid in your experimentation with power. It's a false hope. A castle in the sky given to you by the military junta and Manus Vindictae.
Manus Vindictae? So you really are working with them. What exactly do you intend to do?
And I've also failed. I've ended up a pathetic fool, lost in the chaos of reality. Just like the idealist, chasing visceral reasons. Paracelsus seeking the fountain of youth, and Zahir obsessing over the one-sided coin. When did it all start falling apart, Alice? When the doorknob loosened? When the prisoner's wounds started to fester? Or when the daily disinfectant concentration reached 28 milligrams? Or the crack in the second-grade brick on the wall expanded to 6 millimeters? Or was it when Warden Tartuffe left Ushuaia with news of the Foucault Association's dissolution? This place should have been the ideal ground for psychoanalytic practice. Why did they halt all research, all discussion? We've been abandoned, haven't we? By eras old and new, we designed and have maintained everything in Kamala, right down to the smallest details. But it is these details that trap you. And as the bars close around you, you are losing your name, Merlin. And you're becoming a physician. A man forever imprisoned in these walls. I don't understand. All these false eras are like a dreadful novel with no conclusion. Trying to find answers within such things is, in itself, a mistake. Much like them, you are destined never to attain transcendentality. Tell me, Olive, does the ultimate answer even exist?
The die becomes too heavy for him to hold any longer. it drops to the floor. The distortions and tremors of the prison finally subside, as if the pulse of a massive heart had stopped for an instant. Amid the swirling dust, the girls help each other stand but fail to notice the truth revealing itself before them.
Timekeeper, are you alright?
Yes. And you? And Miss Recoleta? Are you okay? Miss Recoleta?
The smoke clears, but no one responds. The named girl simply stares in shock at the figure before her.
You're...
The word utopia derives from Greek. It means no place. People cannot understand the structure of the labyrinth, yet they continue to follow its paths. They cannot comprehend the mechanics of fate, yet they believe in its jurisdiction. As if, by doing so, everything will naturally fall into place. And now, the polar night approaches. How good it is to see you, pen pal.
The mask and the mirror. Between two mirrors hangs a single object. One face, two faces, cascading into the infinite.
Where did the physician go? Wait. Sir? Are you...
No one notices when the unfamiliar prisoner appears. He seems calm and almost ordinary, like an unchanging mirror that has stood here all along, in this room, in this labyrinth, passed unseen by everyone. The answer she now sees plainly makes her step back in a panic. But in the end, she says the name out loud. Its sound is heavy, cold, and leaves her at a loss.
Aleph. It's you. My pen pal. You are, in fact, Nkomana. All those letters. All the ideas we shared. They weren't just my imagination or some prank. Vertin, Soneto, it's all just as I told you. They weren't meaningless. They're all real.
Yet, why does she feel no joy?
So, sir, are you Aleph, the ruler of this prison? Are you the one controlling the Panopticon with the die? The one hiding Miss Dores's whereabouts?
What curious inquiries. Quite different from the last 2,666 questions I've received. My guests, you may call me Aleph, or by any other name, be it a symbol of God's oneness or a farcical epithet. I am merely one of the many prisoners who voluntarily reside here, a single letter in the alphabet of the Panopticon.
A letter? The way you speak is quite different from Dr. Marlin. Still, I wonder what your relationship is with him.
Under the dim lighting, the man looks drained of all energy.
But allow me to make a guess. You're Dr. Marlin, aren't you?
I'm afraid that's not entirely accurate, but you may think of it that way. Merlin is a figment born of my mind, an incomplete reenactment. He is me, yes, but not entirely. He, or rather they, failed to find their answers. They fought against their predestined fates, only to be inevitably crushed under their weight. I simply stood by and watched it all unfold. That was the extent of our relationship.
They?
You've already met Merlin and the Idealist, even witnessed their demise. Shackled by the delusions of verses, the Idealist lost his own name. Merlin, too, imprisoned himself within the system of the Panopticon. I'm sure their desperate pursuits caused you some trouble. Please forgive them. After all, your fleeting encounters led to the demise of them both.
I think I understand now. The Idealist and the Physician are both parts of you. Or, to put it another way, they're your alter egos.
It seems the jailer's diagnosis that the whole prison is mad has been shown to be more accurate than anyone could have imagined.
The physician mentioned Manus Vindictae. What's the relationship between this prison and the Manus?
Visitors from the Foundation. We all witnessed those eras perish. In 1977, not long before the fourth storm, I arrived in Ushuaia. Shortly after, some members of the National Foucault Studies Association reached out to me. But it wasn't just them. An arcanist organization called Manus Vindictae also approached me. Each of them wanted answers. They named me their advisor.
You acted as an advisor to the Manus?
The two parties presented me with a concept and a parable, respectively.
A concept and a parable?
The Foucault Association sought to explore the feasibility of the Panopticon concept here, while Manus Vindictae showed me a parable of the past and future. Day and night, I wandered through endless texts, endless realities, as I searched for answers. And thus, Merlin was born. He was both an experiment and a price I paid. A new concept, a new direction. Pursuing such things always leaves me confined by the limitations of human knowledge. Merlin spent his entire life exploring Foucault's theories in pursuit of that singular yet infinite answer.
What about the Manus, Mr. Aleph? You didn't explain why you helped them.
Explain why? Because they asked me to, just as you have. I simply worked to answer their questions.
So you're saying that, to you, we are no different from Manus Vindictae? And if we ask, you'll answer us, without holding anything back?
Is that not precisely what is happening this very moment?
Aleph picks up the fallen die. It flickers with a familiar, comforting glow.
This is what the Manus gave Merlin. A magical die named the Tear of Komala. It was once a gemstone that belonged to a god. At the beginning of the century, explorers plucked it from an ancient gate they discovered in Antarctica.
Oh my! And that's where we're going next on 2.8, isn't it?
To the explorers' amazement, the gemstone could turn human desires into reality. So they cut it into a die, a symbol of fate, and used it to build a sanatorium, which was later transformed into the Panopticon you are standing in right now.
His words are direct, yet they still leave the outsiders perplexed.
Then, Aleph, you really are the mastermind behind the Panopticon?
The silent girl grips her notebook. Her knuckles turn white from the pressure. The draft of an unpublished novel, with words that only she knows, the countless hours spent at her desk, the self-reflections, the meticulous questioning, revisions, and scrutiny of every word. That book holds the life of its writer.
You said Merlin used the Panopticon to seek his answer. What does that have to do with my novel? I don't get it, Aleph. Why would you use my novel to manipulate this place? Roberta, Garcia, Octavia, Pablo. The jailer, everyone. Not one of them deserved to be trapped in a deadly loop in which everyone's fate is already predestined. They're just like the ghosts in Amalfitano, inescapably trapped within the ruins. Tell me, what is it you really want?
Hearing this, the lonely prisoner fidgets with the die, looking puzzled.
It's not about what I want. It's about what you want. The third line of your first letter. You said you wanted to give the rise and fall of sanity an ending.
Aleph, the mournful, the grotesque, the sum of self and self.
Los registros históricos del Dado de Babilonia aún se pueden encontrar en la biblioteca de la Universidad Santa Teresa. No. Una apertura como esta haría la historia demasiado ambigua. En 1975, en el pueblo de Amalfitano, Sonora, México, ocurrió algo terrible y escalofriante en la cabaña con el techo azul. Todo comenzó con las costumbres peculiares de los Espera, ¿cómo supe todo esto? Necesito agregar un rol para el narrador. El cuento...
Oh my god, I accidentally clicked
Un poeta
the storyteller.
surrealista de México me contó esta historia. Una anciana entró en el bar al que solía ir en el pueblo. Al mismo tiempo,
El empleado del banco también entró al bar, trayendo la noticia de que una corporación multinacional iba a construir una fábrica de jabón de galletas en Amalfitano.
espera, empleado del banco. No sabía que había bancos en Amalfitano. Pero sí, tiene sentido. Los bancos comerciales son, sin duda, un sello del capitalismo. Gracias, amigo por correspondencia. Antes de convertirse en empleado del banco, era un defensor de las antiguas costumbres del pueblo. Era un pescador de dunas.
Después de aceptar el destino otorgado por el Dado de Babilonia, eligió dejar todo atrás. El triste y aterrador pueblo y los ciclos ocultos dentro de la infinidad aleatoriedad.
Oh, qué irónico. Pero también es realista. Ahora solo necesitamos un personaje contrastante. Un creyente en el destino. Una anciana tejedora se sentó en su antiguo taller, girando incansablemente su rueca. Un regalo precioso, otorgado por el Dado de Babilonia.
La tejedora ciega relató suavemente todo lo que había vivido.
¡Qué idea brillante, Aleph! Una tejedora ciega no podría haber presenciado el asesinato. ¡Fantástico! En este caso, agregaré a un conductor de burros que es asesinado en este capítulo. Con cada una de tus sugerencias, la historia da un paso adelante. Gracias, Aleph. Pero todavía no veo ninguna señal del final. Es como si no importara cuántos personajes nuevos agreguemos. Todavía falta algo en el pueblo desértico. Le falta una figura clave. Aleph, ¿qué debo hacer? ¿Cómo le doy un final a esta historia?
Tú misma me preguntaste, ¿cómo le doy un final a esta historia? Me describiste cómo tus palabras se habían transformado en un rompecabezas desmesurado infinito, un lenguaje irreconocible, una colección de información ambigua y una parábola que había perdido todo su significado. la ausencia de un final aún te roe, atrapándote para siempre en ese abrasador pueblo desértico. Todo lo que estoy haciendo es intentar encontrarlo para ti.
¿Estás diciendo que has estado manipulando los acontecimientos en el panóptico desde que intercambiamos cartas por primera vez septiembre pasado?
She struggles, faintly hoping for him to deny it.
Sí, cada vez que revisabas la novela, se hacían ajustes correspondientes en el panóptico. Reflejar fielmente las complejidades de cada detalle era clave para asegurar que la historia avanzara sin problemas. Estos ajustes los manejaba principalmente Merlin, a veces el idealista, y antes de ellos, Zahir y Paracelso.
¿Cada vez?
6 versiones de la historia del Amalfitano ya se han desarrollado en el panóptico.
Eso significa la rana aplastada en el barro, la vaca muriendo de vieja, el lirón cayendo al mar, el fantasma asesinado en el duelo y los cambios repentinos al dado de Babilonia. Todas las revisiones que sugeriste, todas las muertes, el caos y la locura, ¿realmente sucedieron aquí mismo?
The ever-knowing prisoner falls into a long, dark silence. He will not answer a question when the one asking already knows the answer.
Incluso la eternidad tiene sus límites, Recoleta. In the 6th revision, we added the blind weaver, an extraordinary figure. Just like the paracausality researcher who carries a suitcase that you introduced in your 7th letter.
The paracausality researcher carrying a suitcase. Miss Recoleta, is this character really based on the Timekeeper?
What? Of course not. The paracausality researcher is an entirely different character.
Don't you understand? We're only one die roll away from the ending.
Aleph lifts the core of the infinite labyrinth. The tear of Kamala swirls slowly in his hand.
I don't. What on earth are you trying to do?
Oh my. The filament lamps of the operating room dim in time with his motions. The walls ripple like water, then transform into countless mirrors. Within the mirrors, an endless stream of information appears. A seemingly possessed telephone babbles, an old radio sings. A flickering slide projector whirs and cracks, a muted fume projector spins, a timetable opens, and dictionaries of countless languages flow past. A room without an exit, an eternal predicament, a prisoner's dwelling.
Recoleta, it is the cycle of fate that has brought you to the Panopticon of Komala in Ushuaia. Now, return to the rise and fall of sanity. Return and become a character once more. You've been searching for its ending, but how could you possibly find it when you're no longer inside the story? I believe that this time you will witness the grand finale with your own 2 eyes. No more sadness, no more loneliness. The answer you've long sought lies in the inevitable final row of the die.
So, the jailer is the bank clerk, and Erd is the blind weaver. But what about Roberta, Garcia, and Octavia? They weren't even assigned roles. They were just playthings, helpless in the face of fate. What right do you or I have to decide what happens to them? To dictate their gains and losses?
But they couldn't possibly understand such a thing, could they? To you, it's just a story. But to them, it is the manifestation of bittersweet destiny.
Do you think hiding behind the guise of fiction
absolves you from the reality that you've turned the Panopticon into a living hell? Yes. You're the only one who truly understands the rise and fall of sanity. Goodness knows how many manuscripts I sent out but never received a reply. I was so grateful to you. For your replies, for understanding my novel. Those things were more precious to me than any sunrise over the Andes. Had I known that your feedback was created in such a way, and at such a cost, I would have preferred not to receive it at all.
Get his ass! Oh my god.
Don't you get it? Even if they don't understand my novel, the people I meet are still my friends. Whether we took a long journey together, or we simply chatted for a few hours. We formed me. How could you treat them like fictional characters? It's disrespectful to my work, and to life itself.
The writer's resistance is so sharp that it cuts through Olive's carefully constructed labyrinth easily. Oh my, oh my, oh my, oh my.
But you raised the question yourself. Why do you resist receiving its answer?
He lowers his head, and for the first time, cracks appear on that indestructible mask.
They're always like this, aren't they? They throw a question at you, only to abandon it along with the fading of the era. This storm will spare no one. You've known it all along, Adam. Only the timeless Panopticon can maintain control. The all-seeing tower. The perfect governing system. What a fool you are, Merlin. Haven't you heard what they say? There is no need to build a labyrinth when the whole world already is one. Your meaningless questions will be swept away by the tides of time, only to resurface on the shores of our minds once more. We've seen it happen, over and over again. Surely you've realized by now that the only true meaning can be found in literature. For over a century, literature has remained the singular, ultimate answer. This lonely cowboy is simply feeling lost at the moment. Spare us your rambling, my dear. You're wasting our time.
Enough.
The dye that reflects the heart can no longer bear its weight, as it glows from within burning fissures. On the surrounding mirrors, countless reflections of Olive appear, each wearing a different face. They crowd into the room as a flood of ghosts.
Aleph seems to be in a terrible state. We have to be careful. Something isn't right about that dye.
Oh my, oh my. Let's see. Oh, okay, Lucy is here. But let's... yeah.
Let the overture begin.
Go ahead. Keep the story going. Carry it through until we finally feel the sweet gratification of the ending. Your endeavors are doomed to fail. There's only madness in literature and art, not transcendentality.
Also, oh my god, I fuck with this boss music heavy.
We stand together. A truly villainous moment.
You won't get away.
Saxophones and aventura? As you wish.
La acumulación de laberintos. Suéltalo todo una vez más.
Oh, be careful.
Idealismo, suelos de fantasía, patrones ocultos.
You are not welcome here.
Please stay behind me en todos los momentos.
Saxophone then. A bandura? As you wish.
强梁既出，王有不为。Awaken. Do I have to do this?
My next performance, bubble bursting.
Oh my.
You won't get away. Nos hallaré en todos los momentos.
This one. Do you have any requests? Now for the crescendo with fortissimo gusti.
Cosmología, filosofía clásica, nuestro adversario es el tiempo.
Oh, be careful. My next performance, bubble bursting.
Another phase. Oh, okay, at least not.
These explorations, these fractures, they're all failures, aren't they? In this infinite expanse, I feel nothing but infinite sorrow.
Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report and put it on your table.
Okay. The chaotic battle comes to an abrupt halt.
Wait, Mr. Olive? Are you human?
Snetto steps back, lowering her... Oh my god, I'm not even going to attempt. The pan! She's shocked to realize that her opponent has no arcane skills at all. From beginning to end, all he had was the die.
Please hand over the die peacefully.
Mr. Aleph, please stop resisting. It's futile.
Futile. Yes, it's all futile. The cage of rules, the ideals of literature, both are futile. Mere illusions conjured along the path to transcendentality. They all fear that they're nothing more than phantoms in someone else's dream. That reality will devour everything, including their very existence. That's why they drift further away from transcendentality. They couldn't break free from that false dream. None of them could.
Aleph stumbles as he looks up at the storyteller.
Both the physician and the idealist walked toward their own destruction, just as I expected. But your novel still has hope, Recoleta. Its ending hasn't been written yet. We cannot deny that it may be the answer to achieving transcendentality.
Oh my god, who gives a gaff? Who gives a gaff? Like, truly, honestly, who cares?
You're not going to stop, are you?
That's what I wanted to say. Thank you, Verton.
Not until you get your answer. Sonetto, we have no choice but to seize the die from him by force.
Get his ass! Beat him up! Snetto's arcane energy gathers at the tip of her pan. At this moment, the silent storyteller takes a step forward.
Enough. I said enough.
She shakes as she reveals the notebook that has never left her side. Scared. The boundary of fiction. She does not hesitate. Oh my. What does that mean? What's that supposed to mean? 1990 Guadalajara International Book Fair. People move between bookshelves and corridors, engaged in heated conversations. The air is filled with the mingling of multiple languages.
I'm afraid we can't publish your novel in its current state, Recoleta. We look forward to seeing more refined work from you in the future. Ah, Senor Cruz! What a pleasure to see you here. I'm an editor from the Naranja Dulce publishing house. Could you spare a moment to discuss the copyright for the Bluebird? We're huge fans of your children's literature.
The editor leaves, hurrying after another writer, leaving Recoleta standing alone in place, the 17th publisher to reject her today.
Hey, relax, Recoleta. Look at all the books around you. This place is heaven. You can't get down on yourself. Not here. There's so many writers and publishers here. It's only natural you'd be turned down 17 times. This is just the beginning.
The young writer, attempting to forget her 17th rejection, flips through the event guide in her hands.
Now, which section should I visit next? Oh, this brochure might help.
She turns to the last page of the thick handbook, where all the invited authors and their contact details are listed.
Estupendo. An exchange of ideas between writers. Nothing could be more incredible than that. I recall James Joyce was inspired by a letter he received from Henrik Ibsen. So, maybe what I need is to find someone to share my manuscript with. But who? Hadeo Emasums. Aleph. Averroes.
A knock at the door interrupts her daydream.
Oh, it's you, senor. Don't worry. I promise I'll catch up on the rent next month. Although I must say, this apartment's hardly worth the price. The cracks on the walls must date back to the last century.
Oh my.
Make all the excuses you want, Ingrid. If you don't pay the rent soon, you'll either end up in that crumbling colonial building on the corner or on the street, selling oranges at the San Telmo market. By the way, Julia told me you lost your job at the textile factory. You under some kind of can't work in one place for more than 3 months, curse or something, senorita?
Oh, you don't even want to know about the terrible things that happened in that factory. All I did was lend the oppressed workers a hand.
Bah, you're just like those college kids, full of hot air. Anyway, I am not here about the rent. Didn't you tell me to watch out for your letters a while back, when you just returned from abroad? Well, here it is. A letter for you.
The girl freezes for a moment, then snatches the letter and slams the door shut, almost buzzing with excitement as she unfolds it.
Dios mío! Someone actually wrote back to me! This is incredible! Oh, thank you so much for bringing it to me, senor!
She slits open the long traveling letter.
Dear Miss Recoleta, it's from, let's see, Aleph. Hey, I've been watching you. You're not local, are you? What are you writing? You're right. I just arrived in Buenos Aires 3 days ago. My trip's been a lot like a Copes Tango performance, full of twists and turns, but nothing much worth telling, really. I'm actually writing a reply to my pen pal. Long story short, I sent him a manuscript of my novel, and to my surprise, he actually wrote back. Amazing, isn't it? In our recent letters, we've been discussing how my novel lacks a key character to drive the story toward a decisive ending. So we've been debating whether to introduce a new ghost to act as a turning point for the story. Oh, so then you're a writer? Hey, Pancho, come over here. I found an actual real-life writer.
What's the big deal? I wrote plenty of poems in middle school.
Oh, so you're a poet. I have a feeling we're about to embark on an incredible adventure together. Are you interested in joining the visceral realism movement?
What? I've never heard of it, but it sounds like fun. Fabuloso. We have no time to waste. Once I finish this letter, you two must join me on a journey to Ushuaia.
Ushuaia? The end of the world? Why the heck would we go to that icebox?
Oh, don't be such a downer, Pancho. Just think of the fun we'll have, the breathtaking scenery we'll see, and the incredible stories we'll hear.
Fine, Maria. I'll deal with the gold if you really want to go so badly.
By the way, could you tell us about your novel? Of course. I'll tell you all about it on the way. Now where to begin? Alright, let's start with the cottage with the blue roof in Amalfitano. It's been 6 months since we first exchanged letters. Since then, I've been traveling. First from Chile to Mexico, then from Mexico to Argentina. And I've never stopped writing. I'm not really sure what the purpose of my novel is. I just keep writing and writing. I can't stop. What power does literature hold? What responsibilities? Perhaps only by continuing to write will I understand one day.
Recoleta flips through her notebook, every turn of the page containing a different colored letter. After their long journey, these pages of letters form a faded riddle, their handwriting long since blurred.
Aleph, you're right. I do want an ending to my novel, but not like this.
You really have no idea, do you, Recoleta?
Her only reader realizes she has still not grasped what is happening, forcing him to reveal a truth he has long concealed.
The rise and fall of sanity is your story.
What do you mean?
You are a ghost, wandering this forsaken land, still striving to create a miracle. You are a wandering poet, born in Amalfitano, the foolishly brave protagonist of the story, and the embodiment of the author herself. A reflection, yes. The author, no. You are simply a figment of her imagination, a manifestation of her dream to wander.
Oh, this is meta as hell. I don't get it, kind of.
Have you not realized it? The literary pursuits and romantic adventures you described, they are merely faded memories from 1975. The poets who joined the visceral realism movement with you left Latin America long ago.
Faded memories?
As for the novel, it's yours now. A story you're writing. A story about yourself. Your departure has turned Amalfitano into a ghost town. The characters have lost their connection to you. They're gradually fading away. If the novel is destroyed, you too will cease to exist.
Wait. This is... Miss Recoleta? Is what he said true?
I know you never lie, pen pal. In your first letter, you told me that a character's role in fate must be determined from the outset and consistently adhered to throughout the story. Reading the perspective and insights of a walking encyclopedia, having such a person be willing to share their thoughts at all was an exhilarating experience. I had never imagined my novel could develop in this way. Words could hardly describe how I felt in that moment. No one but you has ever understood the story of that town, let alone offered any revisions. Following your advice, I added the bank clerk, the dune pescator, the blind weaver, and the murdered donkey driver. Amalfitano was no longer an empty town with a single blue-roofed cottage. The new ghostly residents had begun to fill the skies over it. The story was finally reaching completion. I could feel once told me there isn't an ounce of reality in fiction.
Only voids and once told me there isn't an ounce of reality in fiction. Only voids and glorified lies. Let me tell you this. Whether real or fictional, corporeal or intangible, I have accepted my existence. Now, let's put a stop to this, Aleph. The inmates aren't characters in my novel. They're people trapped in a prison, just as you are. By simulating my story here, you have made me into some kind of god, a guilty, false creator, a dictator of fate. I never wanted any of this.
Oh my.
Program activated.
¡Lo veo! ¡La frecuencia perfecta! La admirable aleatoriedad del destino. Creo que lo he encontrado. La fuente del Dao de Babilonia.
Las deudas de los muertos. Esas facturas. Todas han sido hechas trizas. ¡Ya no estoy atrapado!
Desde el día en que perdí la vista, nunca imaginé que la rueda giratoria volviera a girar.
Please say this. En todo más allá del concepto mundano del tiempo. 强梁既出，王有不为。
Be careful.
We stand together. Huh, a truly villainous moment. Nuestro adversario es el tiempo. Stay away from me.
My responsibility.
It's a meeting todos.
Please lend me your power.
En la acumulación de laberintos, suéltalo todo una vez más. Nuestro aliado es la verdad.
You are not welcome here. You won't get away. Case closed. I'll be sure to write a report and put it on your table. And
Shattered words and ghostly illusions roar forth, breaking free from the story's structure and the gaps between its lines filled with regret and obsession. Torn layers and book pages flitter in the air, like snow in a crystal globe on a winter night. Everything is quiet.
Huh? Miss Recoleta has vanished. Did she really cease to exist like Aleph said?
Recoleta.
You're joking. Oh my god. Ghosts of the past. Beneath the earth, those who were never granted marble nor memorials call out her name. On an unknown night, the wind carries the cold desolation of the desert. In the cottage with a blue roof, a girl dreams of a circular prison. Then she wakes.
Qué sueño más extraño. El sabor de la realidad, tan amargo y triste. Pero lleno de pensamiento dialéctico. Tal vez la gente del panóptico reflejaba mis pensamientos internos.
She looks around, surveying the cobwebbed corners where stacks of manuscripts have piled up to the ceiling and over empty ink bottles collecting dust.
Entonces realmente soy un personaje en la novela.
La misteriosa cabaña con el techo azul fue mi hogar todo el tiempo. Entonces, los rumores que los fantasmas propagaron eran realmente eso. Rumores.
The young writer steps out of her home and into the streets of the familiar yet foreign desert town. Countless nameless characters and ghosts arrive upon hearing the news, filling the roads and skies.
Bienvenida de nuevo a Amalfitano, querida escritora.
Gracias, querido ícono del capitalismo. Pero, ¿no descarré esta novela en pedazos?
A woman wearing a peculiar hat steps forward.
Verás, Amalfitano es una dimensión más allá de la vida y la muerte. Este pueblo es un reflejo de tus pensamientos internos. Es incorpóreo. No puedes desgarrar algo incorpóreo en pedazos. La literatura es infinita y atemporal, como un río que fluye a través de la vida y la muerte.
No me extraña que seas mi personaje favorito. Nunca dejas de iluminarme.
Desafortunadamente, la literatura es una vocación peligrosa e inútil. Nadie entiende realmente, ni siquiera recuerda tu trabajo. ¿Recuerdas el dicho? Los únicos verdaderamente muertos son aquellos que han sido olvidados. Recoleta, desaparecerás para siempre si dejas a Amalfitano otra vez. Será como si nunca hubieras existido.
Siempre he admirado tu pensamiento crítico, señor. Encaja perfectamente con tu rol.
Rough hands gently grasp the writer's palm, feeling at the lines etched into her skin.
Todo estará bien, Recoleta. Lo que sea que haya pasado, ahora has regresado. Eso es lo que importa. El dado de Babilonia rodará de nuevo, y cada uno de nosotros obtendrá nuestros finales.
The crowd erupts in cheers.
Así es. Resuelve el asesinato en el bar y pon mi alma en paz.
Libera al pueblo de la locura infligida por el antiguo espíritu.
Arregla la aleatoriedad del dado de Babilonia y aplana la frecuencia catastrófica.
The young writer takes a step forward. Everyone, the living and the ghosts, watches expectantly.
Entonces, el final que he estado buscando es el que el otro yo no pudo darme. El yo que se lanzó de cabeza a la lucha contra un poder invencible. El yo que finalmente dejó esta tierra.
Hey, Hi, Ray! How are you? Glad you could make it in time while I'm still playing. She grasps the gleaming die of Babylon.
Solo un lanzamiento más y todo habrá terminado. Mi historia, mi pueblo, todo finalmente llegará a su fin.
I'm good. That's good to hear. That's really good. I saw on your tweet someone duffing, and I don't know if you got any commissions, but if you did, good luck with them. I also, between us here, I wanted to commission, but I'm broke as fuck.
Pero el sueño sobre el panóptico también terminará, ¿verdad?
Who's cutting the onions? Wow. Yeah. Not me, because I don't like onions, but someone is. And when I get my hands on you, anonymous onion cutter.
Oh, cariño, es solo un sueño.
Ah, no me digas que estás abandonando tu búsqueda de toda la vida por un miserable sueño.
Este sueño es cruel. Nadie entiende esta gran novela ahí ni este pueblo asombroso.
Pero aquí, eres una verdadera escritora. Este es tu hogar, Recoleta.
Pero ya extraño a mis amigos en ese sueño. Existe, así como este lugar existe.
Pero nosotros también somos tus amigos, Recoleta.
Podrías desaparecer si dejas a Malfitano. ¿Estás segura de que quieres irte?
The young rider puts down the die in her hand. The die that signifies the end of everything vanishes into the sandy wind.
¿Sabéis cómo soy, queridos amigos? He pasado mi vida emprendiendo aventuras tontas y no recompensadas. Así soy yo, ¿verdad? Amalfitano es, en efecto, un lugar ideal. Un lugar para vagar, para un viaje corto y para perderse un rato. Y tiene ustedes, mis amigos ficticios, a quienes quiero tanto. Pero debo regresar a mi sueño y ver a mis amigos ahí. Ellos son igual de importantes para mí.
Yay! Go, girl. As they hear her words, the ghosts of the town smile with relief.
Sí, tienes razón, Recoleta. No se puede negar que eres un alma noble y apasionada. Cada uno de nosotros lo sabe.
También eres nuestra querida amiga. ¿Por qué te detendremos de hacer lo que realmente deseas?
Everyone makes way for her as a path into a boundless void unfolds.
Te deseamos lo mejor, Recoleta. Buenas noches, querida. Que tu sueño sea dulce esta vez.
And what if I kill myself right now? Now what? Oh my god. Oh my god!
Mis amigos, nunca los olvidaré.
The girl wipes the tears from her eyes and steps into the looming darkness. Oh my god, all is silent as she enters the barren land. There is only the faint sound of footsteps echoing against the vast and empty darkness.
I've read your work, Señorita Recoleta. To be frank, it lacks both depth and breadth. This town of yours is still far from reflecting the complexity of society, and the narrative lacks a discerning perspective. It still needs some work if you want it to truly resonate with our audience.
I love how they reuse the NPCs like that's one of the Ryashiki kids' mom from 1.8. I had a feeling because I thought, didn't I see this woman back in 1.7? And I was like looking around, but yeah.
Just go for it, Señorita. You're at a perfect age to explore, experience, and learn.
Time wheels, and at last the girl feels her existence again within the void. She reclaims her voice.
What's happening to me?
1,000 or perhaps countless faces emerge before her again.
Ah, of course. The rise and fall of sanity is my story. So, even though the novel's been destroyed, the story, and myself along with it, lives on in the minds of those who read it. Thank you for your feedback, editor. Even here in this great expanse of darkness, I can still hear your words. You have my gratitude. Thank you for reading my novel, even if you didn't understand it, and likely never will.
She navigates a labyrinth of words and an endless expanse of mirrored waters. The darkness surging toward her like a rush of waves on a dark night, making her presence feel heavier. Recoleta, my baby, she is! Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Please, please, I want everything to be alright. Please, I can do this anymore! Please,
Honestly, I find your
please,
story
please.
totally fascinating. But I'm still struggling to understand the connections between all these nameless characters. Couldn't you make it clearer? Like a movie?
Typical. Trust a writer to try to be all obscure and mysterious.
Maria, Pancho, you guys are the best traveling pals I've ever had. Our paths may diverge in the future, but the joyful memories of our journey across grasslands, snowfields, and deserts together will remain forever.
It's been great coming along with you. You're totally one of a kind. We'll be waiting for you at my aunt's vineyard. A little sun after a hard day's work will do you good.
The passionate companions wave to her, never looking back as they continue forward. The girl's steps are no longer weightless. With every step she takes, they feel heavier and more real. She lingers inside the infinite mask in the mirror, the boundless universe filling her with both confusion and illusion.
There is ambition in her writing. It's passionate and poetic, fractured and chaotic. But when viewed as a whole, her work feels like little more than a superficial illusion. It lacks the depth to truly touch the soul.
How about we stop talking for a second? Oh my god, I can't with this guy. Oh my god. Recoleta is so like chivalrous knight, Prince Butch, handsome chivalrous girl. Oh my god, right? I love her. Oh my god. I had like the same feeling when I got her I2 inside 2. I was like, oh, this is Butch swag right here. Oh my.
I will refrain from offering further comments until she stops romanticizing her childish adventures.
Idealist, when I get my fucking hands on you. Oh my god.
To put it bluntly, her phraseology feels overly deliberate to the point of distortion. Her verbiage is like a collection of vague sentiment bubbles.
Why are they fucking cooking her? Please leave her alone.
I see, Aleph. Then this is how you really feel about my novel?
1,000 readers will interpret a story 1,000 different ways. Some believe the text itself is dead, and it is the reader who gives it life. The truth cannot be fully conveyed through words alone. That said, I think The Rise and Fall of Sanity is a good story.
Her heart skips a beat. Within this paradise that harbors the boundless histories and mysteries of humanity, she finally... Oh,
so the Eternal Paradise is a library of sorts. Just like I always imagined. Or is this just another reflection of my inner thoughts? I like it here. It's nice being surrounded by literature. But it's time to go back.
She looks so cute, you guys. Oh my god. Babby, I love her.
You're right about literature, Dorside Beggar. It is a dangerous and futile calling, but I still believe in it.
Baby Butch, I love the Baby Butches of Rivers 1999. Verdant and Recoleta are so... They are, aren't they? Oh my god, that's what I've been saying! Oh my god, you get it, Ray, you get it! The investigators from the Foundation breathe a sigh of relief together. Recoleta's reappearance is as sudden as her disappearance. Snetto hasn't even had time to wipe the tears from the corners of her eyes. Bro just disconnected for a second, okay? Her Wi-Fi was unstable. No need for crying, you guys.
You're back! I'm so glad to see you're safe.
And I'm so glad to see you two worried sick about me. Thanks, mis mejores amigas Soneto y Burton.
Oh, guys, I'm going to cry. They're so... Oh my god. Yeah! Oh my god. Oh gosh, I love them. The reborn writer turns to the prisoner sitting dejected nearby.
See, Aleph? I still exist.
Get his ass.
Amalfitano is gone. It's all over. You're simply a wandering ghost now, never to return home again. You may still exist, but Amalfitano will never get its ending. You've nullified its existence, rendering all of this meaningless.
Looks around. Who gives a gaff?
I'm sorry I couldn't answer your question. I failed once again.
His die falls to the ground, once used to construct a beautiful dream. Now whatever magic it held has dissipated.
Amalfitano and the Panopticon were two parts of a whole. With Amalfitano gone, Komala no longer has any reason to exist.
I'm sorry, Aleph. You, who know all the mysteries of the world, who seek answers to every question, have lost yourself in the process. You can answer everyone else's questions, but never your own. Who's the person behind that mask? Is he real? Does he still exist?
Who am I?
The way the ending to the story leaves the prisoner, still trapped in a blurred illusion, exhausted. Kamala Prison groans like an aging water wheel struggling under its own weight, distorting, fading, and collapsing into the currents of his mind.
Stay vigilant, everyone. This is just like when the idealist and the physician had their meltdown.
Oh, not
Only this
again.
time, it seems even worse.
I think Aleph is trying to tear down the Panopticon.
Can this guy stop for a second? Beyond the crumbling walls, a shivering figure is faintly visible. He grips a gun tightly. The black barrel, shaken in his hands, is aimed at the people in the room.
Freeze! Stay where you are. All of you.
What the skibbity? Let's see, what's this?
Take a deep breath, soldier. The smoke's cleared now. This story, this battle, will soon come to an end. A writer has departed from her domain, leaving her creation scattered behind her, like blood-soaked bandages and fragmented skulls in the trenches. What a garbled mess.
Yeah, I don't get it.
Glad we're on the same page. Thank heavens my commander wasn't some kind of literature, else I'd have been blown to bits before I could decipher their poetic orders. Well, it's all thanks to a certain writer, the embodiment of the wandering poet and traveler from Santiago to Buenos Aires. She impressed me with her precious experience as a cafe dishwasher and campground caretaker. What really rekindled my sense of humor was her seriousness about her literary pursuits. You'd understand what I mean if you'd ever heard a cheesy joke at a comrade's graveside. Drawing strength from her wanderings and rebellious exploits, she attempted to change society, wielding the sword of literature as a revolutionary intellectual and a leader of thought. Some would hail her as a battle angel of Latin America, with words as piercing as bullets and poems as powerful as tactical bombers.
I want to believe, yeah.
You stand firm in your beliefs, huh? Well, maybe that's a good thing. The commander has to trust their soldiers, or they'll be forced to surrender before long. Here, come closer. Let me tell you a secret. Many, if not all, people foolishly think it's the executioner who drops the guillotine blade, the powder that fires the bullet. While they're half right, they're substantially inaccurate. Craters on the battlefield aren't the result of bombs, but a clashing of ideologies. A trigger pulled long before the powder ever ignited in the barrel. As for literature, well, it's probably best not to buy too much into the Latin American boom. Forget about the status report from earlier. That said, at least there's one thing that's certain. Books can bite back, and they'll leave scars.
Hell yeah. Embrace of folly. A tiny boat adrift upon a sea of ideals, convinced it has hoisted its sail. A prisoner steps out from behind the wall, a weapon held in his shaking hand.
I was just setting up my exhibit when everything started shaking. Then I realized it wasn't just my imagination. So I followed the cracks in the wall and found my way here. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but something's happening to the Panopticon, isn't it?
His panicked hands shift the gun toward Olive, who has collapsed on his side.
Are you the physician? Or is it Olive? Whoever you are, please restore the Panopticon to the way it was. I'm begging you. You can do that, right?
The mind that once created infinity now watches as it folds back into nothing before him.
Why aren't you doing anything, damn it? Why is this happening? The die. If you won't help me, then I'll do it myself.
The prisoner, in desperation, lunges forward.
Calm down, Garcia.
Let the overture begin. Saxophones and a bandura?
Be careful.
As you wish.
You won't get away.
My next performance, bubbles bursting.
Please stay. 强梁 Please let me 要把强梁祭出，王有不为。
What the
Let's on this
Sigma?
collaboration together. I'll write you into my paper.
No idea what just happened.
Timekeeper, he's...
Garcia, weakened by his long confinement, is easily knocked to the ground, unable to withstand even the lightest touch of arcane skill.
Why is this happening to me? I was so close to completing the exhibition.
Can't you see, Garcia? There's no one controlling this place now. You're free. It isn't the die that's trapped you, nor is it the walls of this prison. It's the rules, and that overpowering gaze from the central tower. But now that's all gone. You can go outside. You can set up your exhibit anywhere you want. No need to stay stuck in this.
Looking back on all that he has lost, the artist cuts her off.
No, Señorita Recoleta. You've seen the world out there. You know as well as I that there's nowhere else I can go but here. This is the only place in the world where I can hold my exhibit. And you've ruined it. You've ruined everything.
This room's about to collapse. We've got to leave. Mr. Garcia, do you need a hand?
I can take care of myself, thank you. I'll go a different way. I have to go back and finish setting up my exhibit.
He drags himself forward with trudging steps, retracing his path to leave.
Burton, what about Aleph? We can't just leave him here. Of course not. We still have questions he needs to answer. Zinetto, help me get him up. Let's get out of here.
Yes, Timekeeper.
The dejected prisoner looks at Zinetto with confusion.
Your words are always at odds with your thoughts. You carry an ocean of questions, yet never reveal even a single drop of them. Why have you never shared your doubts? Why do you stay silent in the face of everything and everyone around you?
I believe in my duty.
The prisoner shifts his gaze to the other Foundation investigator.
As for you, paracausality researcher, you're different from any other seeker of answers. Even on a desperate, near-hopeless journey, your heart holds little doubt.
Main story drinking game. Every time Zinetto says Timekeeper, take a shot. Oh my god, that could be a thing, right? But I'm afraid I would black out just on the first chapter. Yeah. Many such cases.
Perhaps not every question needs an answer, Mr. Aleph.
Is that so?
The prisoner, so used to answering others' questions, seems to have run into one of his own, but unfortunately no one is here to answer it.
Look, it's sinking. Corpses float on the planks, and the fleeing prisoners are swimming toward the shore. Time to abandon ship. One that was exiled to a desolate corner of the ocean by the resplendent civilized world. It's both a prison and a sanitarium. Are any of your friends aboard? If so, you might find the following report a little offensive. Dregs of society. Human scum. These are the terms used to describe its eccentric passengers. To be fair, they do lack discipline and independence. But that may well be a response to the heavy pain they've endured. Some theorists suggest that they're innocent victims, trapped in the confines between rationality and irrationality, defined and redefined by historians as they please. But let's ditch the theories and simplify things. The moment the shackle called madness was fastened around their necks, whether they were truly mentally ill or not, their lives were forever scarred. And now, the mad passengers are storming the shore. I suppose it is. You can see the joy in their faces, even in the footprints they leave behind as they hop across the beach. Yes, freedom is favorable indeed. The freedom to squander our lives, to trample on the dignity of others, the freedom to embrace absurdity and meaninglessness. Let's dig deeper. Scavenge through the messy battlefield for dog tags. Were these people born mad? After watching the inhabitants of this earth tear each other apart in one war after another, I've concluded this. Only knowledge drives people to madness. Ignorance does not. Madness is a side effect of the sedative that is knowledge. As long as those on land continue to consume it, this ship will never be short on recruits. This is a war between madness and civilization. Both sides have leveled accusations, spilled blood, and pummeled each other. And soon, everyone will have leapt into the trenches and been beaten to a bloody pulp. Only a few can escape this fate. Check your 6. The one leaning against the sunken ship, showing no signs of struggle or sorrow. Garcia. The seawater has flooded his windpipe and reddened his eyes. Yet there he is, staring blankly at the shore. He's in his home base. He holds no hope for forgiveness from his enemies. Not in the slightest. He's a one-man army, fighting only for himself, alone. Now, do a 360 and look again. He's been utterly defeated.
Huh. Aspects of madness. Dreams are the first and last tense partner of madness. Got it. Not really, but yeah.
Dear Earth, why are you so interested in the panopticon of Kamala? Dear Mr. Aleph, whether as a doctor or a writer, I simply cannot turn a blind eye to the friction around me.
Especially the discord and injustice I've witnessed here in Kamala. So, I would ask of you a question. Is there any way to resolve the endless conflicts in this place?
To put an end to this, a true ending is required. Your arrival has made it possible for this simulation to have an ending, or rather, a victory.
What do you mean by victory? I'd appreciate it if you could clarify in simple terms. If this victory comes at the cost of any inmate's life, I'm afraid I cannot accept it.
Doris, yes, I miss her. Oh my god. I mean, not really, since I finished 2.2 yesterday. This time I was actually paying attention. So I've seen her yesterday, so I don't miss her that much. But oh my god, I hope she shows up soon. I want to see her again.
I also have another question for you. If I leave, will the stories and conflicts here come to an end?
Yeah.
I must say, your words have left me rather baffled. Fragments of the events you describe often appear in my dreams. Could it be that these things really happened? If that's the case, why can't I recall the details? Why am I left with only disconnected pieces? The madness in Kamala, these bizarre dreams. I must put an end to them. What have I forgotten? Has someone or something altered my memory? I can't shake the feeling that something crucial to me has been lost in the river of time. Some kind of duty, perhaps. What should I do? How can I recapture what I have lost?
I won't answer a question that already has an answer. One given to you by the person who escorted you here and made you a promise. You're so close to the place where the truth lies. Think carefully.
Oh my god, I accidentally skipped his... Think carefully, why are you here? Huh. Interesting question.
These lessons we found have answered a great deal. But there's still something that isn't clear. Mr. Aleph, what exactly did the Manus promise Dr. Doris?
An era. A chance for her to remember her duty.
An era? You helped her leave the Panopticon in the end. Where did she go?
Momentarily roused from his dream, the prisoner looks blankly for a moment before his gaze drifts back toward the distant illusion.
Southward. There, on the no-man's continent, Manus Vindictae is preparing to recreate the parable of the past and future. A glorious past and a glimmering future belonging to Arcanus. Dr. Doris is deeply connected to this particular parable.
What exactly are the Manus planning to do in Antarctica? And why would Dr. Doris go there voluntarily?
The information revealed stirs unease in the hearts of the investigators from the Foundation.
Mr. Aleph, when did Dr. Dorez depart?
It was a day when both the clouds and sun were visible.
A day when both the clouds and sun were visible. Could you be more specific?
Pacific? You mean the time of day?
His mind long ago lost any sense of time, a necessary exchange to make room for an infinite cosmos of words. He once again finds himself without an answer.
When both clouds and the sun were visible.
Hey, Verton, I think I know. It was 3 days ago.
Then Dr. Doris wasn't going to Comala on the day I met her.
She was leaving. She was headed to Antarctica.
It was cloudy that afternoon, with a brief spell of sunshine, just like Aleph described.
Then it hasn't been long since she left. Excellent news.
3 days. If we set off immediately, we might still catch up to her. But, based on the intel we gathered in Ushuaia, Manus Vindicte bombed the entire port 3 days ago. Clearly, they wanted to prevent any interference from the Foundation. It's unlikely we'll find any functioning ships there. I'll report the situation to the Buenos Aires branch. Timekeeper, I'm afraid we'll have to find another way to get there.
I have a boat.
What? Oh my god. Oh my god. Now we have a boat. Okay. A small boat gifted by Manus Vindicte. Oh my god. During the past several storms, he has taken this boat, traveling to Antarctica at Manus Vindicte's invitation to evade the reversion.
Could you lend it to us? The situation's urgent, Mr. Aleph.
Beneath a decrepit lighthouse, a battered little boat bobs in sync with the waves. It is small and fragile, not the kind that seems capable of braving an icy sea.
This boat will automatically take you to McMurdo Port, the landing point Manus Vindicte established by the shores of the Ross Sea.
Snetto eyes the boat with skepticism, rightfully distrusting this advisor of Manus Vindicte.
This looks like Manus technology. Its arcane energy source is highly unstable. Timekeeper, I suggest we wait for support in Ushuaia.
I don't usually agree with Soneto, but I have to admit, I don't have much confidence that a boat this small can actually make it to Antarctica.
My thoughts exactly. Like, that one TikTok audio is like, I'm actually really nervous. This is my first time flying on a "we're gonna crash!" That's what came to mind. Girl, they're gonna crash.
Mr. Aleph, do you know anything about Manus Vindicte's ritual? How far has it progressed?
The ritual could begin at any moment. I believe that's why they left Kamala. Upon departure, one of their members, a woman named Grace, told me they would seal off the sea.
Are we too late?
If you wish to find Doris, you must follow the same path she took.
The distant drone of the raging waves fills the background like a repeating omen.
I see. Mr. Aleph, members of the Foundation branch will arrive soon to evaluate your condition. I hope you'll answer their questions with the same patience you showed us. Thank you. Soneto, let's go.
Yes, Timekeeper.
As always, Soneto keeps any mission-irrelevant queries to herself. The girls preparing to set sail turn to the young rider beside them.
Thank you for your assistance too, Recoleta. Perhaps you'll consider joining the...
A thunderous crash echoes from behind them, the sound of a collapsing building. Oh my god.
What was that? It came from the Panopticon.
in the place of my ashes. As day breaks, the story ends where the ashes rest. In the end, the night is not eternal. Blazing flames reflect in their eyes, just like the name of this island might suggest. A winter night stands sentinel over a great conflagration as every brick of Kamala prison crumbles and falls.
With Alep's control gone, Kamala is collapsing. The inmates aren't even real criminals, are they? And they're still in there with no clue that they're no longer being watched from the central tower. We have to go tell them. We have to get them to safety.
Yes, we should help them get out. At least until support arrives. But the Manus ritual.
The battered boat sways within their sight.
Don't worry. I'll go alone.
Huh?
You should hurry. When this is all over, I'll write to you, my dear friend. During this journey together, our teamwork has been impeccable. So, you can trust me to do this. I'm not doing it just to help you or the organization you represent. I'm doing it because the inmates are my friends.
Okay, I trust you. Take care of yourself, Recoleta.
But if the storm truly is imminent, as Dr. Merlin said, then, Miss Recoleta, you...
Snetto, more familiar than anyone with the Foundation's exhaustive regulations, has no ready answer. She knows that, in this era, before those arcanists who remain ignorant of the truth, she must watch her words.
I don't quite understand what this storm is all about, but don't worry. A brand new adventure is the best thing that can happen to a writer. And I doubt it'll surpass the epic adventures we've shared over the past couple of days. I'm going to write everything, including the two of you, into my new novel.
Then I'd like to be the first to read this new novel, if that's alright.
Of course. Listen, I believe literature is like an endless, timeless river. So we'll meet again someday, somewhere, probably in someone else's story. Who knows?
She takes one last look at her new friends, feeling a longing as if they had known each other for decades. Then, without a backward glance, the girl sprints back to the burning ruins of the prison.
Mis queridos amigos.
Escucho
Oh my god, I don't know how to feel about this. Oh my god. All the visitors depart one after another. Amid the distant echo of singing, the creator of this prison stares into the fire as it burns. The moment holds for a time, until a breathless jaguar appears at the dock's edge, staring at the human before her with uncertainty.
Dr. Merlin, you're Dr. Merlin, right? I finally found you. What on earth happened in the central tower? Right after I left, the whole panopticon started collapsing. The tower's in ruin. I've been looking for you everywhere. Please, sir, come with me. It isn't safe.
That won't be necessary. The snow is still falling, yet everything in the labyrinth has already gone up in flames. Fortune, fate, karma. They're nothing but a ridiculous joke. It's over, Jaguar. You have lost your memories, your identity, your name, and now your title. You are no longer a jailer trapped in the Panopticon.
I don't get it, Dr. Merlin. What are you talking about?
The jailer takes a step back, her predator instincts sensing the danger in the words to come. The damage may not be physical, but it threatens to shatter what little faith she has left to hold on to, and the life she has always known.
I'm going back to Kamala. Order must be maintained. The prisoners mustn't be allowed to escape. Please take care, Dr. Merlin.
Nerves torn between panic and hesitation, the jailer at last turns toward the searing flames.
Hey, you! Don't run off like that. It's dangerous.
Her cries. One prisoner after another flees in terror, escaping the crumbling labyrinth.
Deserts! It sucks!
We dream on death's straw pillow.
The jailer drifts through the raging scene, unable to steer a sensible course. At last, she pins down a frail and powerless prisoner beneath her weight.
Stop! Get off me! Let me go! Are you blind? The panopticon is falling apart! It's you, Roberta.
The jailer recognizes the prisoner under her grip. Roberta, a kind and quiet prisoner, always well behaved, now panicked and desperate to escape.
They are all mad! I knew it! They've been insane from the start! The whole place is burning to the ground and they still won't leave! They're still talking and talking about things that no one cares about! I can't help them! I never understood what they were talking about! The rhythms, the factions, the ideologies. Yes, the people were nice. The idealists too, but I've had enough of this prison. I've had enough of the panopticon.
She collapses onto the ground, sobbing.
I never should have joined these movements. It was all meaningless from the beginning. I want to leave this place. Go to Spain or France. Anywhere but here. I want to go back to Magdalena.
The jaguar releases her grip. Without a backward glance, Roberta leaves. The jailer steps back into the circular structure she knows as her only home. Under the night sky, she sees Kamala Prison glowing like a brilliant bonfire. Yeah? We should all... Let's all kill ourselves, guys. We should all kill ourselves. Right now. 3 days ago. What?
But how does literature make you feel?
Bro, I'm gonna Bro, me too. I'm scratching my head, looking around like, what just happened?
As though I'm a kid looking through a kaleidoscope for the first time. Well, maybe that's not the best way to put it. Perhaps something a little more subtle.
The young writer drowns in the vortex of words as the blind woman walks away. She walks silently toward Kamala Prison, arriving at the dock hidden between cliffs and reefs. There, the prisoner who answers all questions awaits her arrival.
A ship sailing to an unfamiliar land. A parable of the past and future. An era that once existed and is yet to come. Is this the answer you've provided, Mr. Arleth?
No, Erd. You will have to find this answer yourself. No one can help you with this. No one.
I see. Thank you, Mr. Arleth. I will remember what you've told me.
Yay! Oh my god. Vernetto crumbs. So the Platonic year. Worlds out no right and wrong. Worlds in the old instead. All men are dancers and their tread goes to the barbarous clangor of a gong. Y.B. Yeats, 1919. Also, another... Oh, this is the end. I have a comment I was holding back until we reached the end. No fucking way they're in Ushuaia this lightly dressed. Because I'm not sure if the place I was... It was actually pretty close to Ushuaia. And I was fucking dying from the cold. No fucking way they're that lightly dressed. And that's what I wanted to say. Sure... My body heat regulation is very bad, but still, I was dying. Secret meeting in 1991. Information moved at lightning speed thanks to technological advancement. Eavesdrop. Oh my god, not this guy again! I think you guys could notice I don't really like him. Why are you here? The Admiral sent me to deliver the latest updates. Huh, I think Igor has misunderstood something. Just because we're both here doesn't mean the Apostles' Brotherhood and Zeno are obliged to work together. Mr. Santos, you know the preacher said it before. Each and every one of us is their subject. Why don't you just tell me what Igor really sent you here for? Zeno's intelligence officers intercepted a message from the Foundation's Buenos Aires branch. How typical of Zeno to do something like that. The message states that a fleet from the Foundation, including a battleship and a destroyer, has departed from the north and is heading south. So you're telling me those gray and white checkers are actually sending a fleet. The General wants you to speed up the transport of personnel and supplies, and to weaken the manpower of the Foundation's Buenos Aires branch as much as possible. Let me make this perfectly clear. I do not answer to him. But for the preacher, and for them, I will fulfill my duty. Tell your Admiral that he doesn't need to worry about anything else. We'll prepare a proper welcome for the Foundation's feeble little fleet. Understood. Got it. Oh my god. Actually, what's this? Oh, what's this? Actually, let's... Oh my god. Let's check if we missed any from today. We did, quite a few. Whoops. A clipping when he pulls out the ice pick. Oh my god, not the lobotomy. Don't be afraid. Panic is proof that you're still lucid. For now. No, I don't want a lobotomy. I don't want a lobotomy. Oh my god. Have you guys ever seen that video with the little dog? I think it was Moch's dog. That was like, me on my way to my lobotomy. And oh my god, I saw that and I kept quoting it for weeks. Because me on my way to my lobotomy. In 1935, Professor Antonio from Portugal became intrigued by a medical study documenting how gorillas became docile. Oh my god, after the removal of their frontal lobes. Inspired by this, he successfully performed the world's first human frontal lobotomy, known as leucotomy. The surgery was remarkably successful, paving the way for significant breakthroughs in research. In 1949, Professor Antonio was awarded the Nobel Prize in Medicine for his work. Through continuous practice and refinement, he and others eventually improved and perfected the procedure, even developing a specialized leucotome. However, the surgical technique required a high level of expertise, and as a result, it was never widely adopted. In 1945, American Dr. Walter Freeman modified the procedure, which became infamously known as the ice pick lobotomy. The technique involved rendering patients unconscious with electroshock or anesthesia. Oh my god, I need to take a sip of water again. The technique involved rendering patients unconscious with electroshock or anesthesia, and then hammering a steel pick, roughly the thickness of a chopstick, through the upper part of the eye socket into the brain. The pick was then manually rotated to destroy the frontal lobe. Okay, yeah, this is the lobotomy I'm most familiar with. And oh my god, it seems very uncomfortable because they put like the pick like from under your eyelid and like between the eyelid and the eye, and then they just hammer it in there and like scramble it around a little and then take it out. And oh my god, that's gotta hurt. In 1950, following strong recommendations from psychiatric pathologist Vasily Gayanovsky, the Soviet government became the first to announce a complete ban on frontal lobotomies. Over the next 2 decades, most countries, including the United States, followed suit and passed laws prohibiting the procedure. Thank God. The fuck? Let's see. Philosophy in motion. Does the Foundation never actually require employees to clock in? Oh my god. Have you ever heard of Costaneto? Yes, he's a renowned French philosopher and social theorist. I read books about his theories at the SPDM. What are they giving these kids to read? Oh my god. So those are precisely the kind of books they'd never confiscate. Sorry, I don't understand. Never mind that. Could you explain what you read in detail? Alright. Foucault argued that madness isn't a natural phenomenon, but rather a cultural construct. In early times, punishment was a public spectacle, a display of power for the rulers. Nowadays, things are different. After the Enlightenment, punishment became a form of public education intended primarily to deter crime. That's true. The phrase public execution has all but disappeared from everyday language. Discipline and punishment. By that logic, the SPDM aligns closely with Foucault's ideals. But Deleuze believed that another model of power had replaced disciplinary power, the power of administration, a highly efficient yet indifferent system of management. The system holds control of the environment, and under such circumstances, the individual's inner self ceases to matter. Timekeeper, is this discussion because of what the physician said? That's right. Initially, I just wanted to hear your perspective on this. Now, I'm starting to see how this model reduces people to little more than animals. Right, Timekeeper. Oh my. Oh, this one has two. That's this. Draft of a strange incantation. The greatest arcane skills demand thorough preparation. Every list is a crystallization of countless insights. Regarding the blurred by water stains ritual. 1. A large number of arcanists. This should be an easily achievable goal for Manus Vindictae. Young people capable of lifting bricks and setting sail are plentiful. Devotion remains the best catalyst. Raw lion's tail, sacred scarab wings, Nucoteal shell. When combined with the fountain of immortality, it seems likely that Manus Vindictae aims to achieve something extraordinary. Given the shell's properties, it can withstand an immense amount of energy, ensuring the ritual's success. This is indeed an incantation requiring considerable meticulous preparation. The location, blurred by water stains, remains an excellent choice, but for the ritual itself, timing is of paramount importance. The time referred to here is not our traditional understanding, but time itself. What? A serpent brings an apple, but I already possess the wisdom. Dear Mr. Aleph, the National Foucault Studies Association extends a formal invitation for you to join our organization. Our mission is to guide society and the world toward a more structured and enlightened future. We believe your exceptional abilities will be instrumental in achieving this vision. We eagerly await your response. Sincerely, José Tertuf, Kamala Prison, Ushuaia. Got it. As this. An unsent letter. Someone has already opened it. Perhaps the lady, or perhaps the sender themselves. Dear Miss Recoleta, I have completed reading the 6th edition of The Rise and Fall of Sanity, which you enclose with your letter dated February 8, 1991. Below are some of my personal insights and suggestions for the story's direction. I believe we are nearing the conclusion, and I sincerely hope you never lose your passion for writing. Additionally, regarding the character of the Blind Weaver, the letter remains unfinished, as it appears the correspondent encountered an unforeseen interruption. Huh. Book Fair Guide, a great marketplace of ideas and knowledge. B section, Works Guide. 1. The Bluebird, Watson Cruz, Children's Literature, Editor's Review, a children's book, but not just for children. Viewing the world from a different perspective reveals an entirely new reality. Fox Beneath the Sky, Tadeo. Social Literature, Editor's Review, a classic intellectual autobiography offering profound reflections on the nature of time. Blood Monster, no idea how you pronounce this name, horror fiction. Editor's Review, undoubtedly the finest novel about vampiric creatures this century, a 300-year tale of immortality, jealousy, and humanity. Okay. What's this? Oh, it's over here. A journey to and fro. There is a passage here. It's sought through unknown. I return once more to Kamala Prison. To me, this massive cage is no longer an inescapable labyrinth. When I left, the lady from Manus Vindictae did not stop me, yet I could still feel her gaze. So sorrowful, so blurred, so cold, never once shifting away from me. On the streets of Ushuaia, a young girl pointed me back toward the prison. That severed thread tugged at my heart, and I know with certainty that my mission lay here. If I were placed before fate, my life and death would seemingly follow a predetermined path to its destined end. And as I walk this path, I must carry not even a shred of hesitation. It's time to speak with Aleph, the one who answers all questions. Okay. So we did it, guys! Oh my. I think we took a little less time than Friday. And okay, I didn't really get it, but I kind of got it. Kind of. Not really, but kind of. And yeah, I hope you guys had fun. I had, kind of. I think I'm gonna look for like insight on this chapter from people who, well, actually got what it's about. And yeah, I hope 2 days from now we will be playing Recoletta's character event story. So yeah, I think I'll play Aleph's as well, even though I'm not gonna pull for him. I don't like him. We all know who the Sigma redhead impromptu unit is anyway. Spoiler alert, it's Barcarella. But yeah, I hope you guys had fun. I had fun as well. And I'll see you guys in a bit when we keep playing this week. Also, I switched up my weekly stream times because I'm gonna be very busy on the weekend. So I moved it for the middle of the week. Yeah, that's it for today. I'll be coming back this week with more on Reverse. But yeah, that's it, guys. Bye bye.